Okay, guys. Okay, so guys, thank you for giving me this chance to make a presentation or two today. Tokyo, this is something I found on the Mainichi newspaper. Tokyo, the number of suicides among elementary, junior high school, and senior high school students in Japan in 2020 school year increased by 98 from the previous academic year to 415, the highest ever recorded. So just by chance, I came across this type of information that was being reported in the media once COVID started rearing its ugly head. And a lot of students were at home, a lot of students were stressed, a lot of teachers were stressed dealing with new technology. And for students who are Japanese, having a foreign teacher is even more stressful. And if the teacher doesn't speak perfect Japanese, it's more stressful. If the students are online and cannot really communicate with their friends, it's even more stressful. So the grades that students may be getting is not actually their ability to, it may not reflect their skill in English, it may just reflect their survival, how well they can cope with the stress. So I decided to try to do something to help students to deal with their stress. So usually on January 1st, a lot of people set up new goals or challenges that they want to do in the next year. And my goal was to try to reduce my students' stress. So I asked my students to try to think of something that they want to work on. Now they are first year students at college, and what is something that they want to do or something that they want to get better at? And one student wrote this: my 30-day challenge is walking more than 3 kilometers. To be honest, I have walked less than 1 kilometer per day since I graduated from high school, and I haven't exercised since I retired from club activities. So I want to improve my physical strength by walking more than 3 kilometers. The other wish is to reduce my stress from sitting at my desk for a long time by walking more. If it rains, I will go up and down the stairs more than 20 times as proof. The proof will be recorded using the healthcare function on my iPhone. Just the other day, I told my mother about this walking challenge. Surprisingly, she said she would do it with me. So I was so impressed by this. So I wanted to share this with you guys. So although our classes start in April, I wanted students to be have an outlet, a long-term project rather, not just dealing with using some sort of textbook. We will of course use a textbook, but that's a short-term project. We are hoping to do a long-term project. Usually when students have a textbook, they evaluate themselves based on how well they perform on the quiz or tests or in a presentation. However, I wanted to give them a chance to select the activity by themselves. It should be something that's, number one, trackable, something that gets them out of their chair, something that they sweat, or something that they would record or draw or videotape or time, something active like this. So these are the 4 type of criteria. Most people start a New Year's resolution on January 1st, and by February 1st, they've given up. So the idea was for them to try an activity for 21 days or 30 days. In my case, it was 30 days. And I'm teaching at a university in Tokyo, and these are first year students. And this was done in a writing class. So they had, at the end, they had to produce a report about what they did. So in this case, you can see on the right, one student on May 27th, they walked for 3.5 or 3.2 kilometers. And then again in June 26, 3 kilometers. And then it shows their time and how long they walked for and the time that they left and everything like this. So they have a screenshot as proof. Another student said, wanted to focus on typing. So in high school, I used to be an ALT teacher in a high school in Shizuoka. And once students moved to college, they are not so good at typing. So a student decided, I want to get better at typing. So this is what she wrote in her proposal. Are you good at typing? I type really slowly. It's so embarrassing. Last week, my typing speed was only 11 words per minute. To make matters worse, I made a lot of mistakes. So I decided to practice for 30 minutes every day in English/Japanese. My goal is to type accurately and quickly without looking at the keyboard. I want to be able to type 40 words per minute by the end of this 30-day challenge, taking screenshots of blah, 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 blah. So again, going back to what one of the other presentators had mentioned, how do you get students from, stop them from plagiarism? And this is one example by creating this type of project. Again, tracking your progress. So whatever the students decided, I gave them a blank graph paper, just as an example. And then they plot out when they did the activity, how long they took to do it, and so forth and so on. And then the brainstorming aspect of this. For students, if you ask them to try to do something for 30 days, A, it should not require money. B, it should not require something that's very, dangerous or time consuming, because the idea is it should be meaningful and something that will help them now and in the future. So this is one student's outline, brainstorming. First, importance in the future, typing, summarizing, exercise. And importance right now, exercise, typing, summarizing. So this student felt that maybe they were sitting inside February, March, April. So they are gaining weight. So maybe they want to lose weight. So one option students had was called zentangle. Has anyone heard of zentangle before? So thank you for your gestures. Yes, zentangle is a type of drawing. Zentangle is a miniature abstract work of art created by a collection of patterns. So some students decided to do this once every day. And some students decided to do it with their left hand. If they're right-handed, they would do it with their left hand, and vice versa. So the idea is to do something, select something that's difficult, but with time, you get better at it. So for this is a kind of life skill. So I try to encourage my students that to select something that will be important for your life, a life skill. So in the future, you may have a lot of stress in your life, job hunting or working at your future company or have stress at your part-time job. How do you deal with your stress? Do you start smoking? Do you go to pachinko? What do you start drinking? What do you do? So zentangle is one way how to release stress. So I'm giving them a life skill that when they feel stress, just by drawing, it helps them to reduce their stress. And getting back to what one of the speakers had said before about how do you stop plagiarism. Any of you guys can go on Google now and type zentangle and just copy and paste, Delano, I finished the homework. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking just like my students. So how do you stop them from plagiarism? In this case, I sometimes give my students the secret word. Can any of you guys see the secret word? in these three patterns?
Thanks.
Yes. So in all of these three zentangles, there's a word thanks or thank you. So the students cannot copy from internet. And maybe next week I gave them the word like Delano. So when they do the stress, their zentangle, they have to hide the letters D-E-L-A-N-O inside, so they cannot copy from internet. So that's one way. Another student, this is one example I gave to my students. Can you see one word says geo on the far right-hand side? That's my son's name. There's another word next to it. Can you see what it says? What does it say?
IH.
Yeah, IH. What should it be?
I.
Yes, hi. Hi, Geo. So this is called light painting. Have any of you guys tried light painting before? No? Yes, yes, yes. You turn on your flash on your camera. You turn on the flash on your camera in a dark room, and then you have another camera, and then you do light painting. So at first it's really, really difficult, but it's kind of fun. And it's because some of my students are into sports and some of them are into art. So I try to make all of my activities inclusive so that the students who are into sports who are not into sports don't feel like I have to do push-ups every day or something stressful like this. Another student, you can see his work in progress here, the light painting at the top, Shai Ichi. He wrote on the top right-hand corner. So a lot of my students, just to kind of summarize, a lot of my students ask, oh, Delano, I'm so bad at English. I'm so shy and I don't like English. And what should I do? What can I get better? How can I get better at English? And sometimes I found in the past, I tried to create opportunities for my students to feel successful. So success creates confidence. Confidence creates more success. Thank you very much.